Did you know that every decision can make you richer or poorer? Oh God, my boss is looking at me. Do I pick it up? Do I wait for him to pick it up? Do we split it? If I get him to pay it, I'll be $113 richer, but he might think I'm a cheapskate. Oh, I can't pay that. That's a $226 lunch bill. That's nuts. If we split it, I'll only be $113 poorer. But he also might think I'm petty. Bro, here's the plan. Pee yourself right now, then run to the bathroom. That way, when you're gone, he pays the bill. Yeah, but this small investment might actually form a relationship with him. And then, a year later, he might actually promote me to the head of my department. No, if I pay for this bill, I'm just another NPC in the Matrix. This dude, he is the Matrix. I should just let him pay. Both of you need to stop. Hi, I'm Sean McIntyre, your Wealth Mater D for the duration of this video. I'm going to use this stressful situation as an occasion to talk to you about 3 things you can use to build your wealth. Almost every event in your life is an opportunity for you to become richer. Let's imagine I'm sitting in a cigar bar, writing a script for this YouTube channel. I wonder, should I take a break from writing and have a drink? It seems like an ordinary situation, but it's actually a wealth building opportunity. Because if I have a drink, several predictable things will happen. It will give me a warm feeling. I will think the writing I am doing is way better than it actually is, and I will leave the bartender an oversized tip. Only the first of those things will make me richer, and that will be a fleeting richness that will require a second drink to sustain. That second drink will amplify the other 2 outcomes, both of which will make me poorer. Life is full of these small decisions. And if wealth is your ultimate goal, you have to see every transaction, business, social, or personal, as a wealth-related opportunity. Most of us are not born with that instinct. For us, a casual conversation is just a casual conversation. But the moment we put this principle into practice, we see the world differently. I know a man with this kind of mind. He makes his money by starting businesses and investing in real estate, but also by buying and selling exotic cars, boats, antiques, and watches. Every time I see him, he is driving a new car. One month it's a Bentley, the next month it's a Ferrari. He's an expert in barter and counter trade. He knows how to get the best price, and he loves the game. Give someone without this mindset $1 million overnight and they'd likely spend themselves poor within a year. Give my friend a minimum wage job and he'll be making money again in a matter of months. So, what are the characteristics of an instinctive wealth builder? A normal person is concerned with his ego. When dealing with a problem he doesn't really understand, he pretends he understands or relies on comfortable prejudices about what's right or the way the world is. An instinctive wealth builder asks questions all of the time. He has no ego when it comes to learning because he knows that knowledge is power and there is always more to discover. A normal person looks at a hot new product and thinks, I would like to own one. An instinctive wealth builder thinks, how can I produce something similar or better? A normal person is wish-focused. He daydreams about making gobs of money. He thinks about how money falling from the sky would change his life. An instinctive wealth builder, on the other hand, is reality-based. He sets a goal, formulates a plan, and acts. He thinks about what he can do right now to get more money. A normal person accepts the status quo. An instinctive wealth builder tries to make things better. A normal person reacts. An instinctive wealth builder is proactive. A normal person looks at a successful business owner and thinks, that guy is lucky, or that guy is slick, or that guy exploits others. An instinctive wealth builder thinks, how can I do that? What can I do to get there? Most importantly, an instinctive wealth builder likes living well, doesn't shortchange himself when it comes to comfort and luxury. He thinks, I can have my cake and eat it too. Not all wealth is financial. My mentor once took a course where one of his first challenges was to identify his top 10 goals. Then he had to narrow down to 5, then 3, finally pick 1 as his primary goal. It was easy for him to pick his top 10, but cutting that list down was tough. He wanted to accomplish a lot of things. He wanted to be a novelist, a teacher, a humanitarian, a partner, and a perfect specimen of health and fitness. And he wanted to be rich. Then he realized if you become rich, you gain the freedom to do all of those other things. This realization changed his life. Once he made becoming rich a priority, all he had to do was ask himself in any situation was, which choice will make me richer? And learning this from him made my life richer as a result. As I built wealth, other parts of my life started to change. I started to make decisions based on other forms of wealth: knowledge, friendship, physical, and emotional wealth. This is all part of what Alex Green calls spiritual wealth. And focusing on these other objectives didn't limit the rate at which I've been getting richer. When one thing got better, everything got better. That's because
every situation is a wealth-building opportunity.
That's right. How can you train yourself to see every situation as an opportunity and take action? Before every business event, large or small, ask yourself 4 questions. 1, how is this an opportunity to become more wealthy? What if my real estate partner told me about a house he thought we should buy that previously sold for $700,000 and he thought we could get it for $500,000? The opportunity is to increase my financial wealth. 2, what is the potential of this opportunity? The potential is there to make about a 6 to 8% return on the $100,000 we would need to put down. And if I banked the deal through another company I own, I would make another 6% on the mortgage. Eventually, the house will probably sell for considerably more than we'd be paying. So the immediate potential is good, much better than keeping my money in a bank. What are the possible problems with this opportunity? We could get less rent than we expect, but given what we know about the market, that's highly unlikely. And even if the property never appreciates, it would still be a good deal. What can I do to seize this opportunity? I can take advantage of this immediately. I just need to write out 2 checks, one for my 50% share in the deal and the other for the mortgage. Now, you might not be in a position to bank a real estate deal yet, but one day you will be if you train yourself to ask the 4 questions I taught you, and you know what kind of wealth you're after, be it spiritual or financial, you learn to think like an instinctive wealth builder, and you look at every situation as an opportunity to make yourself richer. I'm talking about the kinds of things that you think about in the morning, the kinds of music you listen to, the things that you buy when it comes to what you read or the media that you consume. I'm talking about whether you buy new or used cars. I'm talking about whether you split a bill at a lunch meeting. And I guarantee if you start thinking about these kinds of things and follow the advice that I've given you today, you're going to get richer. I guarantee it, no matter what your definition of rich is.
Sean, what are you doing?
I'm paying.
I already paid the bill while you were sitting there having a stroke, whatever you were having just then.
Oh, thanks.
Sean, did you pee your pants again?
Make sure to like and subscribe.